Hi and welcome. This is my Disney Frozen Jeep Wrangler assembly video where I guide you through step by step exactly how to make this great Disney Frozen Jeep Wrangler. We miss nothing out from unpacking the box through to the final assembly of the Jeep Wrangler as you see here. So if you'd like to see how we got to this great finished product, please carry on watching. Hi, I've just got this Fisher-Price Frozen Jeep for my daughter's birthday. So this is my Fisher-Price Frozen Jeep review. Just taking a quick look at the box here. You'll see it plays the famous Let It Go song. It comes with a pretend radio with songs from the movie, 12-volt battery charger, power lock brakes so they can stop, high-speed lockout to stop them turning too quickly. It drives on hard surfaces and grass, and it has two different speeds, 2.5 miles an hour for when they're learning and 5 miles an hour for when they're a bit faster. So let's have a look inside the box and see what we've got. Okay, just getting it out of the box. These first few bits like the wheels and the front bonnet and the windscreen come out of the box fairly easily. For the next bit I've had to lie down on the ground, pull it out because of the weight of the next part. So on with that and let's see what's inside. Okay, to get it out of the box, I'm just using a box cutter knife here and just sliding it very carefully down the edge, which looks to be the fastest way to get it out. Okay, well, there we go. I used the knife to very carefully cut down the side. It actually only took about 30 seconds using this. It's made it much more accessible rather than trying to drag this out through the end of the box, even with it lying down. If you're building this on your own, use a knife like this. Obviously if you've got little ones playing around, be very careful where you leave this lying around and be careful when cutting down the side of the box, obviously. So all looks to be there, so I'll get the instructions out. I think we've got some very crumpled Disney stickers here, which are going to have to flatten out. Looks down here like we've got our assembly manual, so I'll get to work. Okay, just a word of warning here. It seems to have come with a lot of instructions in anything other than English. Not a problem necessarily for everyone. I know enough to get by in other languages to know this is telling me to charge the battery for 18 hours in the first instance, but not for more than 30. Also, I noticed on the instructions here it requires 3 AA batteries, which are not included. I guess those are for the radio. So on with the assembly. Okay, the first thing I've done here is cleared myself a much bigger space to work in, put everything out on the floor, which is lighting this entire tub, so this should be a lot easier to get out, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, when lifting it up, you're going to need a bit of care as there's more parts wedged in either side of the base. You need the steering wheel and these bits wedged in, and there's yet more bits underneath. Okay, I guess this is the start bit of my real review of the Fisher-Price Frozen Jeep. I've unpacked absolutely everything. Now, getting this out the box, everything probably 20 minutes to half an hour to get everything clear of the box. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is go and plug the battery in, which, as I mentioned previously, needs 18 hours for its first charge, so I'm off to do that. Battery chip, this is the battery, relatively small unit. To give you some idea, that's the size of my hand, so what are we talking, maybe 5-6 inches there. Looks to plug in very simply, just in here, so you can't get it wrong. So there we go, power in, on charge. The instruction manual appears to be very comprehensive indeed, although there's quite a few pages, so I guess we're going to be here for quite a little while. I've allowed a couple of hours to assemble this. The one thing I would note is that whilst it comes with these spanners for putting it together, you are also going to need a screwdriver with a cross head on it, which doesn't come with it. Okay, the first thing that's going to ask you to do is fit the sidestep, the front fender and the rear fender in a second. The first thing I obviously notice is that when you fit them, they have holes in and it doesn't ask you to put the screws on. But however, this piece for the front fender also has a hole on, as I guess the rear does. And then when the rear fender's on, you turn the whole thing over and put the screws in from beneath in the next step. Okay, now all of the side skirts and the fenders just simply screw on underneath here. Very simple to do. Now just put the first front wheel on, which involves putting a washer on and then this black insert with the collar facing to the back. On the front wheels here, you need to pull the axle out like that and then it snaps into place, and then you need to remove the end cap to show the thread. Now the front nuts on the front, we're just putting the front wheel on first. These, well, they come with the spanners and nuts. They're nylock nuts and they're extremely difficult and tight to fit on, so you will need to apply some pressure on there, obviously so they don't come off when they're in use. The centre cap just pushes down and pops in. We're now fitting the rear axle. You will need to remove the rubber caps for each end that cover the threads. It does refer to the possibility of moving the gearboxes slightly down in order to get the rod through, but there we've got it through the first time. These are the rear gearbox splines, and that just slips on over the top and locates down on there, and then the wheel's going to lock onto here. So on the back of the wheel, fit onto the 4 spigots coming out from there to make sure it locks in place. Before you attempt to tighten this first nut, you're going to need to do exactly the same and put the other gearbox linking unit on the other side and turn the whole car onto its wheels before attempting to tighten either nut, otherwise they're just going to turn round. This is a bit where we've got both wheels on, but you're going to need 2 people because you need a spanner on each end. While one of you tightens one wheel, the other's going to hold this nut to stop it moving round. Okay, there we have the basic rolling chassis. You are going to need 2 people to put the back wheels on, so it's only 30 seconds of somebody else's time, so grab a neighbour if you're in on your own. This is the front bumper, just goes in this lower slot here, that pushes home, and you've just got 3 screws to put in there to lock it in place. Okay, we've just put the front grille on. The bottom edge of this just pushes in first into a slot that runs along the length of here, so you push that down in an angle and then it snaps back and it actually clicks in place very firmly here, and then you've just got 2 screws to secure it in place. Okay, we're just putting the dashboard in, very simply locates home, and then you've got about 6 or 7 screws around the outside, and the next step is to put the sticker on covering the dash. Okay, so we've got our front grille on, front bumper on, 4 wheels, just a quick update of where we are, and just put the dashboard in place. The next step is to fit the doors in place. Each door is specific to each side of the car. I'm not worried about that falling off yet, as there's a hinge that goes on over the top of this. These are the door hinges that just attach in place with 3 screws. Each door hinge is specific to each side. This is right hand side of the car. It just pushes in place, and then I'm going to fasten the 3 screws and do the same on the other side of the car. Okay, that's the doors fitted on. 30-second job to do those. Very simple, they fit very easily. Good construction. Okay, the next job is to fit the hood latches, which push in one particular way. They just attach by 1 screw. Okay, and that's going to come up over the bonnet when that's fitted. I'll do the same the other side. We're just going to fit the steering column in. It's got to go down through the curved end of the steering column through into the bottom there, and then we're going to turn the vehicle over. Just as an aside, if you're looking for the steering column, it actually comes attached to the front windshield if you're thinking that there is no steering column. Steering column, you need to turn it to one side to get it through this gap here, and it then simply slides through there. Now, bizarrely, you don't put a cap on that straight away. You turn it over and fit the steering wheel first before coming back to fit the cap. So we'll find out the reason for that in a second. There's a tab on the top of the steering column which needs to fit into this slot here, and there is a spline on there which fits in the hole there. We think this might be a little tricky to do. Okay, that's needed a good hard shove to get in place, and we now have to put this pin through a little hole in this column to lock it in place to stop it moving round, which we think is going to require pushing the rod up from the bottom. Okay, now the reason for not fitting the end cap at the bottom becomes apparent. You have to push the rod back up through from the bottom with one hand, so you've got enough gap to fit the pin through from the top. So very key that you don't put that end cap on the bottom of the column. Now we're ready to put the cap on here, and that fits on with 2 screws, which stops it moving around. It is key you get this pin in, because it's well, the spline holds the wheel in place and keeps the steering wheel locked to stop it moving. The pin stops the column from dropping back down through and pulling away from the steering wheel, which wouldn't be good. So we're just going to put the cap on with 2 screws. Turn the vehicle back over, we're putting the cap on. The cap simply pushes over there, and this screw locks it in place, and that stops the bottom end of the steering column from pulling loose. There we go, that's not moving anywhere. And the bonnet just pushes in on those tabs, slides back, and then these front latches just pull up to clip it down. And that's nice and secure, and this is where the battery goes in when it's charged. Fit in the windscreen, and this just simply pushes down and locks in place, as you've just heard. And next is going to fit the wing mirrors. The wing mirrors just fasten on with 2 screws. The wing mirrors are specific to each side of the car, so you need a bit of care fitting them. Just a quick recap, we've got the bonnet on now, front bumper, we've got our wing mirrors attached, and we're just going to put the seat, which again just attaches simply with screws. Okay, the seats are in, and now we're just going to fit all these bits of roll bars together. Okay, the roll bars, you need to fold them out to the side. Definitely a job for 2 people. Okay, and now on the bottom, that has to be curving a set particular way towards the front. And we're going to do the same with the others. Well, there's 3 holes, 3 screws in each side, so we'll do that and the same on the other side. If you're in doubt, this is how it should look, taking careful note of the angle of the back legs in relation to the front. This is, I would say, a 2-person job. You could do it yourself a lot easier with 2. We've just discovered there is a 4th and final screw to go on each leg through the bottom there to secure that tight, and then it can be put in the car. Okay, while the roll bar just pushes in, there's a screw hole under each of these, so we've now got to just turn the vehicle over and put the 4 screws to lock it down in place. So you've got to turn that over, so we recommend putting a towel underneath to save scratching it. Okay, here really is a 2-person job. We're fitting the screw into the bottom of this. Well, you can do it yourself, but a lot easier with 2, with one of you pushing this in at the same time as the other one is screwing in to lock it in from below. The last bit is fitting the light bar. Now you need to fit the front part of the light bar first. Slides into 2 locking holes through here. Plastic spigots push through, and then the 2 halves clamp together. And there's about 6 screws we're now going to fit to firm that up. Okay, we've just fitted the light bar in. I've just 6 screws to firm that up, and we've just got our 2 end caps, which are going to go on the front here, and then we're nearly done. Just got the stickers to put on. Okay, the caps just push into place with a firm click, but I think we've then got a couple of screws just to lock them in place. Okay, nearly done. I'm just fitting the final few stickers. There comes a detailed plan on the instructions with all the numbers as to which sticker, and every sticker is numbered as well, so you know exactly where it goes. Okay, and following our build-up of the Disney Frozen Jeep Wrangler, here we have the finished product. All set and ready to go to play on. The stickers do require quite some effort, and I would recommend spending, well, allowing about 25 to 30 minutes to put them on to make it look good. And whatever you do, don't let your kids try and put the stickers on, otherwise they probably won't end up looking as good as this does. Anyway, thanks for watching my Disney Frozen Jeep Wrangler assembly video, and I hope you found this of help, and I hope you have many hours of fun with your own Jeep. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.